All right, welcome back. So on deck today is another 9mm ballistics test. This time we're doing a bit of a controversial round, the Gold Dot G2. Oh boy. So according to Speer, this is the highest scoring round in the FBI protocol since its revision in the 1990s. The FBI did adopt this loading, as did US SOCOM. And in testing, of course, it did, apparently it did wonderful. Then the initial production run, the very first run of this, had some issues. It had to do with some tooling being out of spec, according to Speer. All that was corrected, and now they claim all is well again. So what we want to do is we want to put this, we're going to first put it over the chronograph through our G26 with standard 3.5-inch barrel, and then the G19 with the Glock factory threaded barrel, so this would be the same as a G17 with 4.5-inch, and then the MP5 with its approximately 9-inch barrel. Once we get that knocked out, then we're going to put this through our standard 1-gallon water jugs. We'll do 4 layers of heavy denim with the G26, and if that does well, then we'll use the MP5 with no barrier just to see how any added velocity stresses the bullet in a bear type testing. If that goes well, then we brought out the car windshield, so we'll knock that out as well. So again, Speer's made some pretty bold claims. I have seen testing data from this, and the testing data looks great, but like I said, there was an issue with the initial rollout, and we'll talk more about that if all goes well. If not, Speer's going to have some explaining to do. So according to the box, the G2 upgrade for Gold Dot features a bullet design that excels in the FBI protocol for law enforcement ammunition. Its shallow disc-shaped nose contour is filled with elastomer to provide rapid expansion where needed and minimize over-penetration where it is not. Gold Dot's G2 unicore construction molecularly bonds the copper jacket to allow to the alloyed lead core, virtually eliminating separations. So let's see if all that actually shakes out. All right, first up will be the G26. 981, 975, 960, 985, and 985. Let's go check that out. All right, our low was 960, our high was 985, our average was 977. I should note, I believe Speer lists this as 970 feet per second. So out of the G26, we slightly exceeded that. All right, this will be a 4.5-inch barrel, so same as a G17. 1051, 1010, 1023, 1022, and 1010. All right. So our low was 1010, our high was 1051, our average was 1023. That's a bit more velocity than I kind of would have expected. More than what I've seen in other testers. Okay, well, we're going to have to talk about more of this after we finish everything. All right, let's get the MP5 going. All right, this will be the MP5, roughly a 9-inch barrel. 1083, 1114, 1102, 1077, and 1086. Also, I didn't hear any crack in the air, so apparently those were all subsonic. All right. Our low was 1077. Our high was 1114. Average was 1092. And again, at least this temperature and elevation, these rounds appear to have stayed subsonic. All right, let's get the terminal ballistics portion of this going. I'll show you the setup. All right, so here's our setup. Standard 1-gallon water jugs. These are approximately 5 inches thick. What I typically see is 1.5 times penetration, that of what you would see in ordnance gel. So ideally we want a round that gets into jug 4, preferably to the back of jug 4. That way we know we exceeded that 12-inch minimum. And if we get a pass through, as long as it's well expanded, no big deal. We'll catch it in the catch box here. But as long as we get into jug 4, preferably to the back, that's ideally what we're looking for. A little more doesn't hurt anything, but we definitely want to at least try to get into there. Also, we have our 4 layers of denim that we're going to throw over this, so let's go ahead and get this going. All right, this will be our G26 versus 4 layers of denim. All right, let's go check that out. Okay, well, that's not a good sign. Looks like that elastomer is missing. It looks like it started to want to open up, but it didn't open up. So through 4 layers of denim, the Gold Dot G2 from the G26, not so good. That's disappointing. You know what? I'm gonna do this one more time, because if this fails again, I'm actually going to take this with me to SHOT Show, and I'm going to have some questions for Spear. All right, let's try this one more time just so we can be certain. All right, because of that result, we're going to throw it through a G17 length barrel and see if the extra velocity helps us out. So again, 4 layers of denim. All right, let's go check that out. Okay, well, I see it lying in the back of jug 3. It is fully expanded. It looks like it bounced off a 4. Okay, let me go ahead and get that out of there. And as you can see, the round is fully expanded, just like it was out of a brochure. So, I have a 4-inch barrel. Actually, you know what, let's do the G26 one more time, just to see if we get a failure again. If we do, I have a 4-inch barrel. We'll try it through that, just to see where that line is drawn. But yeah, let's try it one more time through the G26. All right, let's give the G26 3.5-inch barrel one more chance. Ha! I can already tell that doesn't look promising. All right, so we got partial expansion. It looks like out of the 3.5-inch barrel, we're just not quite there to get full expansion. Not through this 4 layers of denim anyway. Maybe through the FBI heavy clothing barrier, which is actually not as stringent as the 4 layer of denim. You'd probably be all right. But through 4 layers of denim out of a G26, a 3.5-inch barrel, compact guns, I should say. I guess it'd be subcompact. Yeah. I mean, that's not terrible, but obviously there are rounds that'll do better from these types of platforms. So since this did partially expand, let's go ahead and throw the 4-inch barrel on here and see if we get that full expansion out of the 4-inch barrel. Okay, we have our Glock 19 barrel placed into our G26, so this will be a 4-inch barrel, or just a shade over 4-inch. So this will be the same as a standard G19. Okay, let's check it out. Well, I see it right here, fully expanded. So, yeah, it does look like a 4-inch barrel or more. This round will perform as intended. Now, I am noticing some difference in penetration depths that I wouldn't expect, particularly for 147 grain, expanded as such. I had to use some different water bottles because my other ones I no longer have access to. I'm beginning to wonder if this particular plastic is not showing some changes in penetration depth. I will have to do a little research on that. I'll have to get some loadings that I have known data on and see how that matches up in these types of jugs, because we are seeing less penetration than what I would expect to see. But nonetheless, the round fully expanded just as it would on a brochure. So it does look like that 4-inch barrel and above gives it just enough to open up as designed. All right, let's see if it will happen when we launch this from the MP5 barrel, if it breaks any of the pedals off or whatnot. We're running a little low on jugs, and I still want to do the windshield test. So we've laid one jug on its side, so we're firing long ways through it to try to save some jugs. But basically all we want to see is, does this added velocity we saw with the 9-inch barrel, does that overstress the bullet and cause the pedals to start to break off and things of that nature? So that's all we're looking for on this. All right, I see it lying on the table, so let's go check it out. All right, there it is lying on the table. It punched through our jug lengthways and then our 5-inch jug after, and bounce off strip. And again, it looks really good. No overstressing of the round overall anyway. Nothing broke off. So so far it really looks like this round is, well, it is designed as a law enforcement duty ammunition, and it appears that that is where the barrel lengths 4 inches and above, up even into the submachine gun length barrel, where it's tailored for. So good data points to know. I will talk to Speer about that just to see what they have to say at SHOT Show. But since the 4-inch barrel and above did really well, let's go ahead and throw it through the car windshield and see how well this projectile holds up. So here's our windshield. Obviously we've used this in previous testing, and it's pretty well shot up along the bottom portion. So we've flipped it over. So now we have this portion here. We're going to fire through a section that doesn't have a crack right here. So should be an uncompromised shot striking that glass. And the main thing in this test, we want to see how well this bullet holds up, since it is supposedly a bonded bullet. Behind that, roughly 18 inches behind that, we have our 1 gallon water jugs again. And based on what I saw in the previous testing here, I'm not sure if our penetration depths are going to correlate at 1.5. I'm not sure about this plastic. This is if you watched the last video, you know I had to tape a jug up because we were running out, because I didn't want to use a different, which was a different type of jug, because of that very reason. So I may have to do some testing on that and see if these jugs are providing the same resistance. They appear to be providing possibly more resistance, so we might see a little less penetration. We still hopefully want to get into jug 4. So that's what we're hopefully looking for. So let's see how it shakes out. All right, we're going to fire through our 4.5-inch Glock factory barrel, so it'll be the same as a G17. All right, let's go see what we got. Jug 1, 2, 3, I see 4 leaking. And yeah, okay, projectile is in the front of jug 4. I can tell already, comparing this to our previous test, these jugs are not exploding like we saw in previous tests. So this plastic is definitely tougher. So I'm probably going to have to try to get another source for jugs, because I don't think this is correlating properly with the penetration depths. That said, we still made it into jug 4. So let me dig it out of there and see how it looks. Perfectly intact. The nose is a little squished down and whatnot, but overall really held together. It looks like it held together really well. Yeah, so given the sectional density, or the shank if you would, the length of this bullet that it still has left, we'll weigh it up and see what it weighs, but this should have punched all the way to the back of jug 4 if we would have been using our older jugs. This actually might have exited, judging by how this looks and how our rounds have done previously. This probably would have exited jug 4. So definitely penetration depths are going to be skewed. So unfortunately, we won't know all of that. I guess we're just going to have to go off of Speer's literature on this, that it gets where it's supposed to go. But as far as the bullet construction holding together, yeah, we're looking good. So let's take this back to the tailgate and wrap it up. All right, so a little backstory on the controversy surrounding this round. So everyone knows that this was the FBI's official choice when it switched back to 9mm officially. And the initial rollout of G2, once it got in the hands of some third-party testers, was a little spotty. Basically what happened was the rounds weren't expanding properly, pedals were breaking off, it just didn't go well. Speer took note of that and tested the ammo, and they found that the tooling used to score the jackets and the hollow cavity and whatnot were out of spec. So the round was not built to spec initially when it rolled out, and that caused all sorts of problems. So Speer issued out basically a recall to the agencies that had received it. They wanted to collect all that ammo back up, and you could either burn it up in training or send it back to them, and they would swap it out. And the way to identify the current production G2 that was supposedly corrected is a copper-colored primer. The original had a nickel plated primer or silver primer. So if you see a nickel primer on there, that's the first run, and it's not supposed to be used for duty use. So this does have the copper primer. Also, you will sometimes find the Speer repackage that ammo in white boxes and marked for training purposes only. So if you see that, that's what's going on. So this is the current production. And before we go any further, let's go ahead and weigh that one round we fired through the windshield. And approximately 142 grains. So pretty decent performance in regards to holding together. its shape, and it had straight line penetration. Now our penetration depths, while we did get in the Jug 4, appear to be skewed due to the type of plastic used on those jugs. I won't be using those anymore because that's just it's not correlating properly. Obviously there is higher tensile strength and whatnot because they're not exploding apart. So obviously there's something going on there. So our penetration depths are skewed, but bigger issue is our expansion issue. So in the interest of being thorough, just as I did with the 147 grain plus P Ranger bonded, I fired off camera another round. I had just enough material to get one more round out of the 4-inch barrel just to make sure that we're seeing that expansion, and we did not. The round did not expand. It looked like it started to want to separate, but it didn't. So where does that leave us? Well, when the round expands, it looks great. And maybe with enough velocity will always expand in that 4-layer denim test, but I just don't know. I don't have enough material to test that. I will say again, the 4 layers of denim is not the FBI protocol. That is IWBA protocol, and it is possible this round was not fired through the 4 layers of denim. It may have actually been fired only through the FBI protocol, and maybe it performs perfectly well in that clothing protocol. I just don't know. So I will take this information with me to SHOT Show, and I'm going to be talking to Spear reps just to see if they have anything to say about this, maybe shine some light on what's going on. But as of right now, I guess the jury's a little out on the Gold Dot G2. This is the current issue ammo of US SOCOM, has been for a little while now, and you would think, given their budget and their usage in real world and the global war on terror that is ongoing, that if this round wasn't performing in real world, they would probably replace it. But I don't know. I don't have any first-hand knowledge at the moment on that, so maybe that'll be something else. Maybe that's something else I could find out, see what's going on with that. But based on this testing, at least 4 layers of denim, the jury's out on G2. Everything else does seem fine. It seems to perform well through the other barriers and whatnot, but I'm just not so certain through that heavy clothing, at least the 4 layers of denim, that it's all it's cracked up to be. So we'll see what Spear has to say. I'll probably maybe try to make some kind of follow-up on that. But in the meantime, if you haven't already done so and you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe, share the video, helps the channel out. As always, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this. Have you seen this actually put through the wound ballistic seminar put on by one of the manufacturers such as Spear, Federal, Hornady, anyone? Have you witnessed this? If they brought this to your agency and you actually witnessed it go through the protocols, and how to do if so? Or do you have any feedback from real world use? Again, let me know. Tell me what you guys think. As always, I do appreciate those comments, but please keep those comments professional. I'll see you guys next time.